Good evening and thanks for joining us in tonight's bulletin. My name is Derek Asaba. We are coming to you live from the New Vision newsroom and on Urban Television. We start off with a UPDF officer who is suspected to have shot dead 3 family members and injured another in Gulu last night. The residents believe the suspect, Corporal Okello Geoffrey, attacked the family at around 8:30 p.m. on Monday night because they were rearing goats on his land. The soldier allegedly descended on his neighbors, shooting the mother, Beatrice Ajok Dade, her sons, Owen Norman, a senior 6 candidate, and 18-year-old Joaquin Binen died shortly after, while 8-year-old girl, unidentified as Peace, was rushed to St. Mary's Hospital, Akor, where she is recovering. However, the UPDF 4th Infantry Division spokesperson, Caesar Olweny, says the suspected soldier denied the crimes, although he has been arrested. Joseph Omagol has the details. The people of Gulu have been left in tears and anger as a UPDF officer is suspected to have shot dead 3 people of the same family.
I was very annoyed for what happened yesterday night. There's an unknown person, but his name is called Okello Geoffrey. He shot the mother and his children. He shot the mother and then the children too. Then one girl is now having a wound, is now in the hospital there.
Anthony Olanya, an uncle of the victims, recalls that the incident happened at around 8:30 p.m. on Monday night, the 10th of February 2020, at the home of the deceased in Pechevangad, Gulu municipality.
I was proceeding with my movement to home. On reaching the other corner, this Maram corner, I got 2 of my nephews. They were crying on the road, and people were just trying to hold them.
The residents believe the suspect, Corporal Okello Geoffrey, attacked the family at around 8:30 p.m. on Monday night because they were rearing goats on his land, which is located on John Oniri Road in Pechevangad, Gulu municipality.
This boy is complaining that Owen and his brothers, they were tying a goat at the place which is not even their land.
But as the detectives investigated the place, it was discovered that the said land is a road reserve. While the area LC3 chairperson, Kelly Komakach, said there has been a dispute between the families and Okello had been reported to police for threatening the victims. He further alleges that the suspect comes from a family with mental illness history and should have never been recruited into the army.
Okello just had a bad heart. Actually, it's unfortunate Okello was recommended to be a UPDF officer. He was not meant, because Okello's conduct, when he was even growing here, he's a bad person, he's a bad boy. There was no need for Okello to be recruited. Actually, I think mentally is not stable. There's kind of that mental illness in the family.
However, the UPDF 4th Infantry Division spokesperson, Major Caesar Olweny, says the suspected soldier denied committing the crime, although he has been arrested.
The person they are claiming to have done all this said to be a soldier. We recorded the names, and as I talk now, we've arrested the suspect. He's behind bars. Investigation is still moving on.
He regretted the incident but calls for calm from the aggrieved family as investigations into the matter continue. This latest incident involving a UPDF officer comes barely 2 years after Lance Corporal Odaga Geoffrey was convicted to 40 years for shooting 3 people dead in Kabedopong, Gulu municipality. Report compiled by Joseph Omagor for New Vision TV. May the souls of the three rest in eternal peace. Meanwhile, the Uganda Road Chief Magistrates Court in Kampala has charged and remanded 2 men over kidnapping and trafficking 3 Indian nationals. The remanded are businessmen Praful Bhutani, an Indian national residing at Bunga, Machindu Division in Kampala District, and his co-accused, Ignatius Mugumya. Mugumya is a Ugandan national and a resident of Chiwanga in Mukono District. Douglas Miru brings us more report.
The duo was charged with 6 counts of kidnap and trafficking in persons. The charges contravene Section 243C of the Penal Code Act and 3, Subsection 1 of the Prevention of Trafficking in Persons Act 2009.
The matter be adjourned to early next week. The parties are pursuing.
However, Chief Magistrate Miriam Ayo Okello told the accused not to plea because the charges against them are capital in nature and her court has no jurisdiction to try them. She said, "I'm only reading you the charges for the purpose of knowing why you're here, but you are not allowed to take plea against the charges because they are capital offences, only tried by the High Court." Upon reading the charges, the magistrate adjourned the case to February 14th, when the matter will return to court for mention.
In the circumstances, we pray that the matter be adjourned to early next week. The parties are pursuing a second opinion from the Director of Public Prosecution, and hopefully by then a new position may have been obtained.
Prior, the state prosecutor Judith Nyamwiza informed the court that investigations in the matter are still ongoing and prayed for court to slate the date for mention of the case. Prosecution contends that Bhutani, Mugunya and others still at large on January 21st in between Kampala and Entebbe kidnapped Patel Atul with intent to procure a ransom for the liberation of such a person from danger. It is also asserted that during the same place and time, the accused kidnapped Akshay Prajapati and Patel Sahil with the intent to procure a ransom. Prosecution further contends that on January 16th, the accused and others still at large from Gujarat, India recruited, transported and transferred Atul, Prajapati and Sahil to Uganda by means of fraud and deception for the purpose of exploitation. Report by Douglas Mubiru for New Vision TV.
Thank you, Douglas Mubiru, for that report. Now, moving on, at least 51 passengers escaped death today morning after a bus they were traveling in caught fire and burnt down. The bus, which belonged to Trinity Bus Company Limited, registration number RAD644G, was carrying passengers from Kigali to Kampala when it caught fire at a bus checkpoint located at Buwama on Masaka-Kampala Highway in Mpigi District. According to the Katonga Region Police spokesperson, Joseph Turia, the incident happened at around 6 a.m. when the bus driver stopped and came out for registration at the checkpoint. All buses using the route are mandated to register the particulars and the passengers they are transporting in the book. Thenes T. Munyakwei, the driver of the bus, told the New Vision TV that when he finished registering in the traffic book, he saw smoke coming out of the engine of the bus and immediately alerted the passengers to get out. Saj Zimulinda, the bus standboy, say they tried to save the passengers' luggage, but in vain because the fire was spreading at a very high speed. Buwama Police Station has a fire brigade truck but has spent 1 year parked after it broke down and awaits repair. Turia say the bus wreckage was towed to Buwama Police Station where it is currently kept, waiting for the police inspector of the vehicles to inspect it first. Passengers were given another bus from Trinity Bus Company, which took them to Kampala. This is the second time a bus has caught fire at this checkpoint. In December 2015, a bus belonging to Perfect Coaches, registration number UAL 883Z, carrying 58 passengers on board, caught fire at the same spot and all the 58 passengers survived. We'll now take a short commercial break, but still to come are more stories, so please stay with us. Welcome from that break, and in case you've just joined us, you're watching New Vision TV News, and my name is Derek Asaba. Now, thousands of people received the Janan Luwum pilgrims into the northern town of Gulu yesterday morning. The arrival of the pilgrims stopped businesses as residents joined in orations, dancing and prayers at both the main market and Christ Church, Gulu, where other 41 people, including Achola Otunu, a daughter to Olara Otunu, who came from the UK in order to walk and stress the importance of Janan Luwum in the history of Uganda.
The residents of Gulu welcomed the pilgrims with hugs, dances and prayers on the streets of Gulu town. The pilgrims then held prayers at the Gulu main market and later proceeded to Christ Church for more prayers and breaking their fast with tea and bread.
This has attracted very many of us to come and even join the church ministry. So we are very grateful that the pilgrims are being received here peacefully, because Janan has died for peace. And so they are being received here peacefully. They are now just been given some tea and breakfast. From here they will proceed and they will have a night at 12. And then the next morning they will cross to Kitgum Diocese.
They were given money and food items by the people supporting their long journey to Wigweng in Muchunyi, Chitgum district.
We were able to mobilize our Christians to give financial support. I don't have the figure here, but money has been collected from various corners of from our people, from our members of parliament. We want to thank the members of parliament who are coming from Ashuli region, who are able to contribute. We want to thank each and everybody who were able to give in kind even.
One of the pilgrims is 8-year-old Rubangakene Emmanuel, who started the pilgrimage from Remebering Cathedral in Kampala. He's doing this with his mother, who's carrying another toddler, as they pray for school fees.
There is no school fees. There is no money. My mother is paying me back to school.
In 2011, presidential candidate and former UN ambassador Olara Otunu was among the 75 pilgrims who set off from Remebering Cathedral on the 29th of January 2020. He says the main challenge the pilgrims have faced are muscle pulls and blisters.
We expect to be in Muchunyi on the 14th of February. So far, apart from minor problems of blisters, maybe muscle pull, which has been handled by first aid. We've been actually very lucky, been very fortunate that the health of most people have been very well.
During this back-to-school period, he's very proud of the pilgrims who've sacrificed everything to celebrate the life of the former Archbishop. His daughter, Achola Otunu, traveled from the UK in order to walk and stress the importance of Janan Luwum to the history of Uganda.
It's really important that we pay homage to people that have done so much for us as a people. We can't forget our history and the people that have paved the path for us. And part of being, as part of the diaspora, I've been really involved in trying to learn more about my culture. Also, my father has helped organise this event, so of course I was going to come and support. But really it's just about getting involved and learning more about us as a people and not forgetting our legacies and our history.
For the remaining 155 kilometers to Muchunyi, 116 pilgrims are now on the road. 28 joined from Koro Abili in Omoro district, while another 13 joined the initial 75 from Gulu town. Janan Luwum was born in the village of Muchunyi, Chitgum district in the year 1922 and died on 17th February 1977 after an arrest by former President Idi Amin's soldiers. He was ordained as a deacon in 1953, then consecrated as a bishop of the Diocese of Northern Uganda in 1969, and subsequently appointed as the Archbishop of the Metropolitan Province of Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi and Boga Zaire in 1974. Report by Joseph Omagol for New Vision TV.
Thank you, Joseph Omagor, for that report. And now let's take a look at the news in business with Lynn Comcha.
In business tonight, Uganda Revenue Authority is holding a man who has been holding out as a member of their staff to solicit money from unsuspecting traders. URA Assistant Commissioner Customs External Operations Julius Rubagumia said the suspect Caleb Kanchiriho has been using the authority items, including identity cards, to intercept people's cargo for bribes, which is illegal. Rubagumia confirmed that the suspect will be produced before court and face appropriate charges. He called on the business community to increase vigilance.
This group is said to have the protection of some security agents with whom they move and stop trucks and demand to be paid so as not to call customs enforcement staff to intercept the trucks for re-verification. It is also reported that Caleb and his team hold out as customs officers and sometimes use names of commissioners when demanding for money from the importers, saying that the money would be shared with the management of customs to create safe passage for their consignment. These are self-proclaimed informers of customs who use the informal relationship.
Police in Kampala has recovered millions of counterfeit Ugandan shillings and thousands of US dollars in 4 separate raids on criminal gangs dealing in counterfeit currency in Kampala city and metropolitan areas. Police spokesperson Fred Enanga states in the statement that 4 Cameroon nationals and 3 Ugandans were arrested during the operations as they planned to carry out an illegal business dealing in minerals from Cham Towers. The second operation was conducted at Crystal Valley Hotel, Mengo, where one Mugume Wilson alias Mujisha was rearrested with 16 bundles of black US paper dollars, a seal with United States security. A third operation was conducted in Nsambia, where a one Geoffrey Behangana alias Kagame, a 35-year-old man, was arrested. The statement states that several exhibits were recovered that included 36 counterfeit shilling notes of 5,000, 3 fake black shilling notes in the denomination of 10,000, 20,000, and 50,000, 2 bottles of chemicals used to make the fake notes. Police spokesperson Fred Enanga states that the suspects allegedly work for a rich businessman in Ndeba who imports the fake currency notes from a foreign country. The statement further reads, the investigation followed surveillance operations conducted over a period of 2 months. It has so far been established that the suspects used the chemicals and black counterfeit notes, shillings and dollars to defraud victims after cleaning the dark substance on the selected genuine notes.
From business, we now go into a Pearl of Africa story where Leira Ndagire continues to share with us her experience while climbing Mount Rwenzori. Have a look.
From the Uganda Tourism Board offices at Lugogo Bypass. Us as a team of journalists, it's called a Conservation Media Camp. We came together. We wanted to challenge ourselves. We wanted to do something different. We wanted to explore Uganda, but in terms of value addition to our bodies through hiking. So it was all incepted by the Uganda Tourism Board Executive Director, Lily Ajerova, with other people like Eric Ntalo, in partnership with the Rwenzori Services people. One of the few things you start experiencing once you're in Kasese district is the breeze, the difference in the weather. You actually start to experience that you're now out of Kampala, you're in a different area, you're in a different region. What are some of the unique things about Mountain Rwenzori? Mountain Rwenzori is one of the highest blockfold mountains in East Africa. It's among the few mountains that are snow-capped. It actually has glaciers on the top that serve 5 different countries, that is Uganda, Egypt, and some other countries. But we don't need to know all that. How was the journey like? What happened? We started off our journey from a nearby church. From the point of departure to the target, we were told, was 6.9 kilometers. Our first target was Sign Camp, but there are also other camps on the mountain. That is Kalalama and very many others. So from the point of departure, the Rwenzori Trekking Services people give you or guide you with some things like porters. These are people to help you carry your luggage as you trek.
Being a porter is not easy because you have to carry your personal luggages. You must carry the Mzungu food, like 25 kilograms. You find yourself carrying 20 kilograms, 5 kilograms for your sleeping bags or a blanket and other things that you're going to change to. Sometimes when it is raining and you find that the luggage you're carrying, it is all soaked in water and it becomes very heavy. By the time you reach the camp, you're very tired. You even fail to eat. The food fails you. You even develop headache, things like that. When you're climbing Rwenzoris, it is having a very big challenge. When it comes to climbing up, and we women, when you're moving with men, it becomes a big challenge because for the men, for them, they will walk faster and they leave you behind because you're a woman and you're carrying heavily. So you find that like climbing ladders, climbing rocks towards the camp, it becomes very difficult.
One of the different things or uniqueness about our journey is we were supposed to do it with the international hiker. He has hiked very many mountains, Mountain Everest. We were with the Executive Director, Uganda Tourism Board, and the Director of Rwenzori Trekking Services, Mr. Hamwich. Hamwich kept on telling us, you people need to be very cautious about your water intake. Most of us were wondering, why is he emphasizing the point? But it's key. As I'm narrating, you'll get to know the importance of taking water in sessions as you hike.
Of course, these mountains are quite high, over 5,000 meters, which means that we're going to encounter problems with the altitude. There is obviously, as you progressively get higher, less oxygen in the air, and that makes walking, especially going uphill, much more difficult. And with the time scale that we have, not really enough time to acclimatise properly, so it'll be tough. It'll be tough for sure. And every time you go to altitude, you forget just how hard it is. But you know, if you take it slowly and persevere, hopefully you'll get there.
Some people, their oxygen levels are dropped, but we were not getting there. What happened? In the next episode, don't miss.
Now, on to sports with Patricia Tugia here, where Wakiso Giants Football Club has proved that they are really sharks when they turned all the attention to the Stanbic Uganda Cup, edging FUFA big league side with a 5-0 win in the round of 32 at Kavaka Chavago Stadium in Wakiso District. Lawrence Bukenya, Amos Mwonge, Waswa Hassan Dazo, and Geoffrey Serenkuma scored goals for the Purple Sharks. The game came at a time when the Purple Sharks have not won in the league for 2 successive games. The Purple Sharks were without George William Katende and Duncan Seninde, who were still suffering injuries. Elsewhere, in other matches, StarTimes Uganda Premier League relegation survivors Proline FC played to a 1-1 draw against Eastern Best Club Admin FC in the ongoing Stanbic Uganda Cup round of 16 after at StarTimes Stadium Lugugu, and were through on penalties by 5-3 goals on aggregate. The Stanbic Uganda Cup reigning champions were seeking to bounce back to its winning ways, having lost 2-1 to SC Vida over the weekend. Proline FC got an early lead from Hamis Diego Chiza in the 12th minute of the first half and later an equalizer in the 90th minute of the game through Alele Walter. Toro United edged Kansai Plascon 2-1 at Mukono Bishops SS. The ultimate winner of the Uganda Cup will represent the nation at the CAF Confederation Cup next season. Report by Patricia Tuliaheba. Thank you, Patricia, for that report. And that sport update brings us to the end of tonight's bulletin. You have been such an amazing audience. We'll do this tomorrow, same time, same station. I'm Dorika Saba. Good night.